The visa process is complicated and confusing, but did you know that it's actually pretty simple to schedule your interview? Lots of people hire visa agents and so-called experts to go through this process on their behalf, and this can sometimes result in some complications in your situation. So today I want to talk a little bit about how to schedule a visa interview so that you can actually do it yourself. I'm Travis Feuerbacher. I was a career Foreign Service officer with the U.S. State Department for over 6 years. And for most of that time, I worked abroad as a visa officer. I've interviewed tens of thousands of visa applicants from all over the world, and now I dedicate my time as a licensed U.S. immigration attorney to helping visa applicants like you navigate through the process and prepare for their visa interview. So today, I want to talk a little bit about how to schedule a visa interview. And I think by the end of this video, you'll realize that the process really isn't that difficult, and you can probably do it yourself. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, we commonly encounter applicants who have hired an agent or an agency to go through these steps on their behalf. Now, some of these agents are great, but some agents are not very incentivized to look at your details. They make their money off of how many people they can fit through the process. And when you don't pay attention to some of the crucial, minute details in this process, that can lead to complications down the line. So try to do this yourself, and you may just find out that you save yourself a lot of headache and complication in the future. So let's begin. Let's walk through this. The process, as I mentioned, is actually very simple. It begins with the DS-160 application form. This is a form that you access online. We'll put a link in the description below. And I would recommend that you use Google Chrome for this. Safari, Internet Explorer, and other browsers have been known to cause some glitches in the process. And so even the State Department often recommends that you use Google Chrome's browser to go through this form. Now, once you start this form, make a note of your application ID number, as well as the responses you provide to the security questions. These are the details that you will use to access this form later on if you want to review your responses or maybe continue adding responses to the form. After you complete just the first few sections of the form, make sure you save it. And again, make sure you have that application ID number because that's all you actually need to go ahead and schedule your interview. So the next step, and the next steps, I should say, will very much depend on the embassy or the consulate where you plan to schedule your interview. Most embassies and most consulates will go through an online website, a portal that's managed by a third party, a private company that is responsible for scheduling and managing visa interview appointments. So as a first step here, after you've started and saved your DS-160 form, navigate to the website of the embassy or the consulate where you plan to schedule your interview and review the specific steps that that post has for you to follow to actually schedule your interview. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use as an example an applicant who is from India who is planning to schedule his visa interview at the U.S. Consulate in Mumbai. So as you can see, I've now gone to the consulate's website, the U.S. Consulate in Mumbai, and I've looked at the specific steps to schedule my interview. The first step in this process is to create an account in the interview scheduling portal. Again, I always recommend that you do this yourself because it's crucial that the information you add when you create this account matches the information that you have put into your DS-160 form. If there are discrepancies, that may cause complications leading up to your interview. So after you create an account, you then generally are required to pay an interview fee. Now, this will very much depend on the embassy or consulate where you plan to schedule your interview. Some posts will allow you to pay this fee via a bank transfer. Some will allow even a credit card, while others will require you to go somewhere in person, maybe a bank branch, maybe a post office, to pay the fee that way. And then you'll get a receipt and you'll type in some details into the system to confirm that you've paid the fee. So once you've paid the fee and you have your account set up in the interview portal, the next step is to schedule your interview. Now, this is where a lot of people will be alarmed because you may not find an interview date or time before your intended travel, or if you're a student, before your classes start. In some situations, you may not even be able to schedule your interview for months into the future. Well, there are some options if you find yourself in this situation. First of all, you need to go ahead and schedule an interview for the earliest time available. Then look in the interview portal to see if there is an option to request an expedited interview appointment, or sometimes it's called an emergency interview appointment. You'll find specific details and directions on how to request an earlier appointment time and whether you might qualify for an earlier appointment time on the embassy or consulate's website. So review that as well. Then you'll generally have to add a couple of details supporting your request for an earlier interview slot. And you may also be able to upload a couple of documents. In this case, it might be wise to upload an invitation letter if you're traveling for business. Maybe your I-20 form and your offer of enrollment if you're a student. But again, review the specific requirements and tips and guidelines on the specific website for the embassy or consulate where you plan to interview, and make sure you follow those steps as closely as you possibly can. Now, once you have paid for and scheduled your interview, you will also generally see in the interview scheduling portal an option to schedule interviews for family members or others in your group who might be traveling with you. So go ahead and schedule the interview times for others in your group. And then the last step is to prepare for your interview. That's where ZF Visa and Immigration comes in. We've dedicated our careers to helping applicants prepare for that crucial visa interview. This is your opportunity to introduce yourself, your unique situation, and your travel plans to your visa officer. And if you go into the interview prepared to explain yourself and explain to the visa officer how you will qualify for this visa, then you have a very good chance of success. But if you go in blindly, not understanding what to expect, you may encounter delays, complications, or you may actually face a denial. So reach out to us via our website, www.zfvisa.com, and schedule a session with us. We'll work to understand your unique situation, and then we'll work on offering specific guidance for your unique situation to help you prepare for your visa interview. And for students, navigate to one of our online student visa preparation courses at www.zfvisaguides.com. There you'll find courses specifically related to completing the DS-160. We have a course specifically on how to prepare for your visa interview. And we also have a complete course, which includes the entire student visa journey from start to finish. It also includes access to a bi-weekly live question and answer session with either myself or my partner, Mandy. Both of us are immigration attorneys and former visa officers with the State Department. So you'll have a unique opportunity to ask any remaining visa questions after you've gone through the course content. So visit our websites. Make sure you do as much as you can to prepare for your interview so you're putting your best foot forward. And above all else, best of luck to you. Follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram to stay updated with tons of valuable resources and the latest updates about different U.S. visas.